Firstly, I just would like to thank all our speakers for being here, participating, and having shared its knowledge and time with all of us. We'd also like to thank our guests coming here, some of them coming from far away, so really appreciate that and hope that you have enjoyed the journey as much as we did. Thank you also my colleagues, arranging the thing, organizing the full journey. We'll start just sharing with you a couple of ideas I have summarized in some notes from the speeches that we have listened today. I think that from John, still don't have clear why our business is evolving a little bit slower than other, like the renewable energies. One of the reasons could be that we are close to the limits, theoretical limits of thermodynamic or some other issues, but definitely there is still a way to walk. And the way could be, and I fully agree on that, on three main lines. I'm talking about desalination, reverse osmosis desalination mainly. One is materials. We need to develop our knowledge and to push forward using new materials. Graphene is only one of them, but many others will follow. The other are configuration of the systems. What is clear is that nowadays for us, the most efficient way of desalinating water is reverse osmosis through the standard 7-8 membranes pressure vessel systems. Probably there's a lot of way to walk there and things to do in different type of configurations. We need to be brave enough. We as companies, being acting in the sector, should be brave enough in order to push on that, innovate, and trying to develop the new system that could make us go down from the 3-point-something kilowatt-hour per cubic meter to the theoretically 1, which is the limit of the thermodynamical system. And the last one is the process. I'm very interested in the batch process system that you have presented. I have been discussing about that with Alejandro for some time now, and we will be also very keen on developing and elaborating on that technology. I think there is a lot of again way to work on this. Concerning Maria, biofouling, well, it's one of the challenges that we all face when we talk about desalination. Probably one of the largest constraints that we are dealing with. Main conclusion is that it's not easy to understand the real basics for biofouling. I mean, of course, it is easy to understand that it will be related to organic matter and how it is linked to the membranes and how sticky it is on terms of getting at it and the biofilm. Still, again, a lot of things to develop in this side, and since it is one of the main drivers of energy consumption, we will need to go the extra mile on working on this R+D side of the activity. What is clear is that DAF systems are only one part of the solution, but there will be a much more complex approach to solving it. Then going to the Rosa's speech, it's a complex one. I would like just to highlight a couple of things. That the problems that you are facing in Canada, as the examples that you show, are not very different from the ones that we are suffering in Spain. One very good example is the Mar Menor in Murcia. The contamination and pollution that we artificially created by adding nutrients to this inner sea, have forced to the collapse of organic life in the sea itself. And also disposal, some brine discharge of some of the plants have achieved a concentration level that is not acceptable anymore. And definitely we need to work in some of the ideas that Rosa has raised. And finally, from the presentation that Doug gave us, Well, I'm a total fan of the new technologies and the digitalization process. In the water business, definitely communication, data analysis, data management would bring a dramatic change in the way we do things. It's not a question of only how we communicate with others and how we share the data. It's how we look at the data and how we analyze this. We have been going through this topic on the last weeks through some startup program that we are delivering, and the way in which artificial intelligence could help us to be more efficient, and how the human activity and the human intelligence will add to that is a very interesting combination. So, of course, we will be the ones that will be designing the thing, but sometimes human interaction is probably not the most efficient approach. On top of that, the speech remind me this smart, nice TV ad from a telecom company in which Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple, said that in this sector we are all trainees, becarios. Can you imagine how things will be in 20, 30 years' time? So, I mean, dramatically changes are coming. And just as a general thought on the meaning of these journeys, Master Technical Leaders, a program that we, as a group in ACCIONA, have developed, because at some point in time, in the last couple of years, we have thought that we are probably putting a lot of focus and effort on the managerial side of the business, maybe forgetting what our business is related to, which is technology. We are a technological company. There is a saying, no, and I have been participating on that 15, 20 years ago, this business was driven by engineers. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, was driven by finance guys, and nowadays it's been driven by lawyers. Due to the complexity of the contractual. Well, I mean, there's a kind of, there's some rationale behind that, but let's not forget that if we do not apply technology, if we do not increase the resources in technology, all the lawyers and all the finance people will have very little to say in this. I would encourage the young people, I would encourage our young engineers, our young technical people to develop that capability. They could be tempted to become managers. Of course, being manager is a wonderful thing, but nowadays I think that for becoming or being successful in what we are doing, we should be specialized. And being a journalistic manager, at the end of the day, will have much more risk, even at the personal level, than developing high level of technical skills that will always allow everybody to offer something to companies, society, and the rest of the world. Just that. There is a little lunch now, and hope you have enjoyed in the same way as I did. And still not planned, we don't have the date yet, but hope to see you all in the second edition of these journeys. Thank you very much.